So we decided we're supposed to be doing a fundraiser, but we decided that a way that we could kind of get the public awareness out is to put on a presentation for you guys, giving you some insight on our study tips for what we did last year, as well as tying it into the Public Awareness Society and the charity that we're making the presentation for and that we're trying to raise money for. So the reason that we are here is for the SPCA. It's the SPCA that is very near and dear to all of us because it's the SPCA that we get all of our animals here from. They're an SPCA that's located in Gatineau. They've been working with Algonquin College, and since they opened, I think it was in 1985? Yeah, we have it on one of the slides, but since they opened, they've housed a lot of animals, shelter animals, and been working with us. We've been working with them to try and find them homes. Next.
All right, so first off is how to manage life outside of school pretty much. So make sure you eat and sleep. So next year you're gonna have a lot of surgeries, and you have to eat before, because they're like 5 hours. They can go on for a long time, and sometimes you can go out for breaks, but yeah, make sure you eat breakfast because it'll really help you. Yeah. For work, if any of you guys are working, I do work, so I usually work only 4 hours on the weekends and 4 hours on Wednesdays. So try and keep your work hours minimal because it's a lot of homework and extra studying that you guys should be doing. Create schedules for both your outside life and combine your school schedule with it. Make sure if there's anything going on in your life to talk about it. The staff here is really considerable of personal problems that are going on, and make sure to always treat yourself with something. Don't always study. Watch a movie sometimes. It's no problem if you take breaks from studying, and stay positive. Don't bring yourself down if you're struggling with a class or something. So study tips, Quizlets, obviously. Hopefully you guys are on that. Cue cards are really helpful. It's like Quizlets, but more you get to actually physically write them. Yeah. And, small study groups and ones that don't chat all the time about personal life, because that can really not work if you're in a study group like that. Complete textbook readings, because those actually have a lot of information that will be on tests and stuff for you guys. Make charts and mind maps to help you organize all of your notes, and plan out study times and break times. Create voice memos. That's what I do. I listen to them before I go to sleep, and then I wake up and on my way to work, school, I usually listen to them in my car. And then take breaks, obviously. Yeah.
So Quizlets, I'm not sure if most of you guys know about it, but it's an online website where you can create kind of anything like digital cue cards or tests and stuff, and it's great because as a whole year, first year, you guys can create a folder for everyone. So if someone posts something for one class, everyone can see it, and it's good for and it helps because you guys can help each other out in that sense, and it's really great for creating diagrams. So for anatomy lab, you can label your pictures that you post and then test yourself and quiz yourself for that. You can put definitions, photos, and create your own folders if you wanted to have a personal one, or also so Jen Boz and Quizlet, if you guys wanted to write those down, someone's from last year and this year, they're current students, and they have great ones with almost everything that you for every test that's going to come up, and eventually above and beyond for information, and it's really helpful. And clinicals, so you guys have started clinical this semester, but next semester it's going to get way more intense for you guys. So some stuff that we've learned is that it's equally as important as lecture classes, so it's not something that you want to save till the night before. And know your bolded steps, that's what's really going to get you. And it's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. So if some steps say something like, list a disadvantage of using this technique, don't just verbally say that, actually do research and look in your class notes about the disadvantages and why those aren't good, and then so that way if the teacher asks you that question, you're well prepared and it's not gonna make you freeze and forget everything while that's happening.
So I'm going to talk about parasitology. I'm not sure if you guys have started that or not. I heard that maybe you guys are doing that second semester. But this is a course that studies parasitic organisms. This is by far one of the most challenging courses for many people. You have to deal with learning a bunch of parasites that are pretty foreign to any of us because it's not normally anything that we're familiar with, as well as you have to know how to spell them. So the spelling, you might know your parasite and know how to pronounce it, but if you spell it wrong, then you lose a mark for that. So a really, really important thing with parasitology is to learn that parasite and spell it out 1,000 times. Like if you think you know it, spell it 5 more times just to be sure that you know it, because there's nothing worse than knowing the answer, but if you have the spelling wrong, then it's wrong. So like just make sure that you spell it out 100 times. Try and connect, like make connections. What we find helpful is making connections to a parasite to the outside world. So if there's a parasite that looks like a barrel or something, or looks like something that you see at home, make that connection so that you can think of that and connect the two, because there's so many parasites you guys are going to learn that it's really hard to remember every single one. You're going to also learn life cycles of parasites. Write those out 1,000 times, because those are so many marks, that are on your test, and they're easy marks. If you can memorize the life cycle of a parasite, that's 10 easy marks right there. So the only thing that I can say for parasitology is write it out, and write it out 10 times more.
Okay, so for anatomy, it's really important that you guys just understand the foundation of it, because that's what animals are, getting to know everything inside of them and how it all connects. So what really helped us, I know, is making visual aids. Like if you make a diagram with every muscle or every bone, and then you put labels on it that you can maybe Velcro or even take off, it really helps to be able to see it and just know the visual representation of it. And also cue cards, obviously, just flipping through it over and over again for definitions, really just going over it again and again and again. And like I said before, learning how it all connects really helps. So if you know one organ on its own, but know how they connect together, it'll really help you with the bigger picture and understanding how everything works.
Okay, so I'm sure not very many of you know, but this week's actually National Veterinary Technician Week. So obviously we wanted to come and introduce you guys to more about the program and as well as the SPCA. We also wanted to talk about why being a VT is so important and the role it has in the veterinary community. So National Vet Tech Week is actually this week. So it basically just recognizes VTs and the value that they have in the workplace. As well, it educates the public on what an RVT does. A lot of people don't even know how much we're really doing behind the scenes and all the tasks we're doing. So it just lets them know how crucial we are for a veterinary clinic. And it also encourages stronger relationships in the workplace. So it allows the veterinarians, the VAs, everyone else to kind of thank us for what we do. And obviously it goes both ways. There's obviously days where we recognize veterinarians and VAs, and it's just a really positive workplace attitude. And then, so what you can do as a VT, there's so many things that we can do other than just working in a clinic. Obviously that's really important, and it's a really great way to help animals, but there's so many things you can do in your community. So when you're a VT, you can obviously participate in spay and neuter clinics. The Ottawa Humane Society does a lot of those. You can volunteer at pet fairs. There's a lot of organizations that'll do walks for their pets to raise money for different humane societies and everything. As a vet tech, you'd be a really good candidate for foster care, just because you have so much extra education on how to take care of animals and everything. And then there's actually an organization called Community Veterinary Outreach. So they work with homeless people and taking care of their animals. So it's a lot about preventative medicine for their animals. They don't always have the resources, so they'll do a lot of pet fairs, and as well as giving out information on vaccines and microchips for their pets. They do a lot of human medicine as well, so it's really a One Health organization, and they'll focus on how to quit smoking for these people, how to live just a healthier lifestyle. And then finally, there's so many volunteering opportunities that you guys can do. If you check out the Ontario Association of Veterinary Technicians, they have a whole list of volunteer opportunities, and you can even get your continuing education credits with some of those.
So just to end us off, as Olivia mentioned in the beginning, we're doing this project to raise awareness and money for the SPCA in Gatineau. So it's a non-profit organization located in Gatineau. It was founded in 1982. So obviously we work very closely with this SPCA because it's where all our cats and our dogs come from. And since the SPCA has been founded, it has saved nearly 125,000 animals in shelter. So before you leave, if you'd like to grab like an infographic with more information and their contact info, I'll just leave them right up here. Only take one if you really want one, because